Hi everyone. Hello everyone. Good afternoon. Uh, it's a very beautiful day. Okay, so um, anyway, I just want to make a comment about the story of Weekno Chivhayo. We know that it has been a topical issue. It has been trending for a very long time, and yeah, here's my opinion. I think overall we should not dictate to people how they use their money. Okay. We should not dictate to people how they use their money, regardless of how much money they have. This is the first point that I just wanted to put out. However, I just want to look at the Chivhayo issue altogether. Now we have seen that Wicknow has been giving people cars, especially artists, right? He just picks random artists and giving them cars and everything, including some big artists who already have plenty of cars. People like Wanamba Cheso, they already have their cars. Even most of those artists, they already have their cars, but he just decided to give them. We cannot question him as to why are you giving these people cars, because it is money, right? But however, we saw a lot of people saying, well, if you are that rich, why don't you buy hospital beds? Why don't you buy ambulances? Why don't you do this and that? For me to answer that, I would say, um, we cannot dictate to people how they use their money once again. Okay, because here's the thing, Wikno Chivayo is not our government. Wikno Chivayo is not our leadership. Wikno Chivayo is nothing to the people of Zimbabwe. He's just a citizen, just like you and me. Of course, he happens to be in business. Of course, he happened to do this to have a bit of money. We don't know where his money is coming from, because we cannot really come out and say, hey, here's where your money is coming from. Your money is, is this and that. We already know of the scandals, that happened, and with the power and all this kind of stuff. We already know those scandals. But if he's still working free, who are we to tell him that your money is, government money, or your money is corrupt money? We cannot say that. But my point is, we cannot dictate to people how they use their money. And this is just what I say. I think because of this whole situation of some other people feeling like their sports in being rich has been taken away. There's some people in our societies that will always want to be the ones on top. They try by all means, to show off this, to show off that. So they just maintain that position of being the number one people in our communities. So if they find out that there is someone who is doing greater things that, more than they can do, then they feel threatened that, well, their glory, some people do things for glory. They feel like, well, their glory is being, taken away from them. If people start to say, I'm rich this, I may reach that, I may reach this, I wear this, I do this, look at me, how, all those kind of stuff. All those kind of stuff, right? Some people want that validation from people that they are the richest, you know. So if they find out there's another richer person who is doing some things that they cannot do, they also feel threatened with that. Therefore, you see there's a lot of unnecessary scandals going on. Never dictate to people how you use their money. Okay. And for example, we saw one person buying a certain gadget for a certain artist, right? If we were to come to that person and say, hey, why did you buy this gadget for this particular artist? Because this artist already has this gadget. Why didn't you buy it for the next person? You understand? Then they'll tell us, you don't tell me how to use my money. The same very person who is complaining again, we saw them throwing money at people, you know. So we were supposed to ask the person that, why did you throw money on these people, and yet we've got poor people in Zimbabwe? So you see my point. We need to open our eyes and not be, just be gullible that, yeah, this person has got a point. Yes, they have a point. Hospitals need medication. Hospitals need ambulances, they need beds, children need food, people need to go to school. But let's not be used by people who are, pushing their own agendas. Sometimes we get embroiled in some situations with people who are pushing their own agendas. They feel threatened in their own egos, and then they want to use people's sympathy to say, well, because if I talk like this, people are going to love me. If I talk about hospitals, people are going to love me. If I talk about this and that, people are going to love me. So for me, this is how I see it. This is how I see the whole situation that has been going on between the Chivhayo and Chivhayo. Chivhayo and others on social media. And again, I'm not condoning the statement that he did regarding Baba Nicholas Zakari. However, if again, it comes back to what the sensationalizing that has been happening on social media, which is very, very unnecessary. Is people who are pushing, people who are trying to cause some unnecessary chaos. Let this guy use his money to buy cars to people whom he wants. We can never tell him what to do with his money. That is a fact. We are so angry. We are so angry, and we don't want this and that. We want things to work our way. We want the money for the needy. We want the money for the poor. We want this and that, but we cannot dictate. Let's look at our big government officials. Our officials, they travel in jets. Why don't you tell them travel by bus? Our officials, they have different cars. Why don't you tell them not to buy those cars? Our officials send their children to go and study abroad. Why don't you tell our officials that don't send your children to go and study abroad? Let the children study here so that you can keep the money and give it to the poor. So we are focusing on the wrong thing. We are focusing on a little fish. You understand? And yet the bigger fish is there. We are focusing on the wrong thing, and we are putting all our energy. Yeah, let him buy hospital. No, we cannot tell him to do that. If he wants to, he will do it. If he doesn't want, so be it. There is nothing we can do to force a person how to use their money. He owes us nothing. He owes the Zimbabweans nothing, if for anything. If he's a criminal, then the courts of law should take his course, right? So this is just how I see it. And I see that mainly the whole issue is about being used by people who are feeling threatened, because even they consider themselves to be the rich ones, to be the ones who should always, have all the glory, to be the ones who are always, people talking about. But then if there is another person who is now being spoken about, how many of us can afford to buy cars for every person every week? 2 cars, 3 cars every week. We cannot do that, right? But this person is doing. We don't care where his money came from. We don't care, what he's doing, because we can never verify it, right? We can never verify where his money is coming from. We can never verify for anything. So all we can say is that it's his money, right? So he has got the right to use it anyhow he wants. So this is all I see about this whole Chivhayo story. We know it has been very much spoken about on social media a lot, and I've been just observing everything that was being said by different people. And this is all I had to come out with. Okay, so I will talk to you again later, my friend. So until then, let me just enter here. If I happen to have the phone when I enter security, then I'm going to continue. Okay.